Hey guys, welcome once again to the Raj Kaul Podcast, and I've got my brother who's who's been a long time in this industry, and you can probably know who he is. Obviously, it's in your in the description. So I'm really excited about this. I'm just chilled. I've had a bit of a cold, but I'm really excited. We've been chatting over WhatsApp for a while, and our brother Biggie introduced us. So a big up to Biggie. Big Let's Talk. Make
Big
sure you
up
check him
Biggie,
out as
bro.
well.
Big up yourself as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, big up yourself. Big up Biggie, man. It's good to be here, man.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this
Lightnin
convo.
MC. Yes.
Come on, bro. Come on.
So, bro,
Sing like a Punjabi.
yeah, let me just get some few things straight, bro, because like you were smashing it, man, bro, in the 2000s. I remember on Z Music Box, and dude, you were everywhere. I remember, and you know, you know where else I know you from, bro? Remember RDB TV?
Yeah.
And you were doing MCing on the streets when they were filming with their camera and stuff. I remember
Yeah,
you there as well.
Yeah. Cooley used to go around with the camera, camcorder. I think I did a couple of shows at the NEC arenas when we performed. Yeah, man. So that was that's going back in some time. That's going back a while. Going back a while.
You're killing it, man, bro. So it's so good to see you back. Yeah, honestly, I was seeing you on TikTok and Instagram. Dude, you're killing it, man. Honestly, so it's really good to see you back. But before we do that, how you been, bro?
I'm good, bro. I'm chilling, man. I hope you haven't got any background noise there, have you? Is that all good?
No. Don't worry. What Zoom does, it eliminates background noise automatically.
All right, cool, bro. That's fine, man. I'm just double checking. So when I'm speaking,
it's got an algorithm in the background, so it eliminates background noise. Yeah,
that's cool, bro. Yeah, so I'm good, bro. I'm good, man. I've been off music for a while. I mean, I left properly around 2008, and then I had a brief stint. Came back 2013 to 2015 for a couple of years. We did a few songs here and there, but you know, generally been off it for a good amount of time. A lot of people have been telling me, you know, join TikTok, join this app, join that app. You know, you get the music out there. There's loads of demand. Bhangra Garage coming back in. For a long time, I just kind of I was like, yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get round to it. But then I kind of did it about a couple of weeks ago. I just kind of thought, you know what? Let's see what this hype's about. So I put some of my old videos up. And as you saw, I think you've been coming across on your posts. A couple of them went viral. Especially like a couple of the RDB tracks that I did back in the day. And I had a notorious track, Ash. You had RDB's tracks like Billo, Kamal. Yeah, a couple of those, man. They did really well. And I started to get loads of people coming like, where's this guy been? You know, Some Next Auntie as well, obviously. That was going all viral on there. That was another skit track I did on Danger Free, yeah. Some Next Auntie was one of the ones I noticed first, even before I put my stuff up. I noticed how much stuff was going up in 2025. And I'm not going to lie, bro, I was shocked. I was shocked that my songs are getting put out there and people are saying, where's this guy? Where's this guy? Where's he gone? He's got like thousands of comments and likes.
I've seen it.
I come from an era where we were just selling records, bro. We weren't likes, followers, you know, all this. We didn't have that. We just used to turn up to a place, do a show. People want autographs and stuff. You know, when you used to sign autographs, you used to write lyrics on a pad and pen. It wasn't like, you know, you have your phone and you write lyrics and things like that. So we come from a different era, man. So it was all a bit sort of new to me. Not that I haven't had social media, but the idea of not just being a music artist, but also having to promote yourself, to market yourself, to gain a certain amount of following. So all these, you know, the view counts and all that sort of stuff was quite new to me. But when I did get the responses, I didn't actually expect that much response. It was quite, you know, it was good. It was a good response, man. I was very, very happy to see that my music's touched so many people. And like, you know, 20 odd years later, people are still, you know, vibing with them tunes, remembering the lyrics, you know, talking about these songs. It was just incredible.
Wow. That's yeah. I mean, I saw your videos and that, and it's hats off to you, bro, because they've just come and they've just blown up on TikTok. So hats off to you.
Done well, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go back a bit. So tell me a bit, because I want to know about your music and your background and where you're from. But tell us where you're from first, because I always thought for some reason you're from Leicester. Don't ask me why.
Do you know what? It's funny you said that. I'll tell you why. It's funny you said that because I was on a WhatsApp video call with a guy called Rhythm Rider. I don't know if you remember him, Rhythm Rider. Yeah, he was on some of the tracks. He did that track Daru on Unstoppable, and he was like,
yeah, I remember that.
and he was literally said the same thing to me. He literally said the same thing, and I was like, I think it's probably got to do with the fact that I spent about 4 or 5 years in Leicester at uni, and I was there living over and after uni. So it's probably related to that, because I used to be in Leicester a lot. So people probably used to see me around, probably say, yeah, I saw Lightnin MC in Leicester. He's living over this place. So it's probably related to that. But as you can tell from my accent, it's pretty similar to yours, man. I mean, I'm raised and born around the North London sort of areas, you know, moved to and fro, St Albans and Hertfordshire and all places like that. But generally speaking, around that area, man, North sort of London sides.
Acha. So, tell me a bit about your background. What what was your background like when you were growing up? What was your household like? Because I like to know, just to get to know that, because I can relate to a lot of things, you know, like we're probably about similar age, you know, when you're young and your parents are strict and in your Jamkilak sets playing in the backgrounds. You know, I love details like that. So yeah, go for it.
Yeah, bro. So one of my first influences, I used to hear a lot of Marnik around me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Marnik was a key. It was a very, very big, you know, all my sort of, my dad, my chacha, all them guys used to listen to Marnik a lot. So I always used to hear that a lot. Marnik was pretty much one of the first influences. Michael Jackson, the other, that was from my choice, obviously. I used to like Michael Jackson, his dancing, things like that. So I used to be really into that sort of stuff. We come from like a sort of martial arts family as well. So we used to do wrestling. Desi.
Wow, man.
But that's another thing that was played a big part in my development as a young lad.
You talked up a bit now, bro.
I have, man. I have. Maybe not. It's not all muscle, man. There's quite a bit of, you know, what's the word? Diet cutting needed here. But you know, it's good, man. Yeah, you know, we put a bit of muscle on now. But yeah, man. So in terms of the background, you know, I was into very sporty family. Very into music as well, to be fair. There was a lot of love for music. My chacha used to sing. I remember he used to have a badja. I've actually got that badja. I can show it to you sometime. I'll send you a little picture later on. But I've got a badja from like the 80s. I got it refurbed in Southall about a couple of years ago. So it's like, you know, fully good working condition. I remember he used to sing and do riyaz, and then we used to like sort of jam there. I just used to sit down. I remember just sitting down next to him like when I was about 3 or 4 years old, and just being in awe of him, man, and listening to play another song, cha-cha, play another song. So, you know, growing up, music's been around me, you know, sports has been around me. Every Asian family, they you know, they tell you to study. So, you know, we went through the school system. I went uni as well. So yeah, man, just growing up, I was just pretty much your average, regular Punjabi dude, man. You know what I mean? Just sort of eating dal and roti. And then eventually, when we started to get a bit more money, we started to have a little bit of chicken and lamb and stuff like that. Yeah. But you know what I mean? That's how it is, bro.
Absolutely,
back in the days, it was all the mahadi dal and that sort of stuff, man.
But one thing I want to quickly throw out there, just straight away, is that out of the MCs, and I'm not saying this like in a way to have a go at the MCs. I don't mean it like that. But one thing that was cast about yourself, your Punjabi's bang on. Do you understand? Not every MC that comes on, they normally like the English, the influence. But when I hear you and when I talk to you off air as well, it's like I'm talking to Karda Banda, you know, like
yeah. Well, so, bro, I think maybe I need to go back a bit further then, because when I was actually born in Birmingham, so I moved down to the London area when I was about 2 years old. But I was raised with my baba, chacha. So I was talking about my chacha playing the, you know, we was in a big family household where there's like sort of, you know, I can't remember I don't know what the count would be, but you know, you're gonna have a good act now and then, like that. You know, there's like sort of my buas, my chacha, everyone living in one roof. So going back to that, they was all speaking Punjabi. They didn't used to speak English back then, man. So when I went to school, I didn't know actually how to speak English. I went to school speaking Punjabi. So you know one of the key things, obviously, that I learned as I was growing up, and a lot of kids that my age couldn't do it. When they used to do, you know, when they say like parents go, oh, yeah, teri Punjabi, tenu bolni aundy kinni soni hai teri Punjabi, whatever. They used to do this test where when you can say the rada. So rada menu kehna hunda siga. And I was one of the few kids that even to now, like, I'll do that. You know, so how good's your Punjabi? Oh, I'm good at Punjabi. You're like, can you say rada though? You know, in that sort of pure Punjabi element, if that makes sense. So that was just like a little joke I have with people when I do it. You know, how good
I've
is your
seen that on
Punjabi? We have
social
a
media
little
as well.
banter, but
I've seen you call someone
have
out on
you?
social media about that as well.
Possibly. I can't remember, bro. I've called loads of people out, but you know how that is, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you know, generally speaking, yeah, my Punjabi is on point, man. It's because it was the first language I knew, to be honest with you, bro.
Mm.
And then obviously being raised in the school system here, my English is good as well. So obviously we got the best of both worlds, man.
Yeah.
And that bilingual element allowed me to obviously craft that whole want to rap in Punjabi and English at the same time, because it kind of blended my culture, you know, the culture that we have from Punjab and the fact that I grew up speaking Punjabi in a Punjabi household, along with the culture that we have from the English side of things, growing up as a kid in this country from a very young age, going through the English school system, and fuse the two together, and that's what you get, man. The hybrid.
Madness. So, okay, so tell me from there, how did you get into music, like sort of into rapping first? Did you do?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've always I remember when I was younger, I just used to sit there and like sort of sing songs, like Punjabi songs. You know, I'd listen to like all the sort of Kuldeep Manak, some Ghani songs. If I'm in a shower, you know, having a little sing song or whatever. But I never had the confidence to like do it in front of people, just in my own. I remember once when I was walking home with someone that was older than me, so as a one of my call them cousins, but they were there.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they were walking in front of me with one of their friends, and then I was singing a song, but obviously I was singing it so nobody hears it.
Yeah.
And they turned around and go, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, nothing." Like, I used to keep it a secret, like,
Yeah.
they're like, "You were singing a song, weren't you?" I was like, no, I would never sing a song. You know what I mean? Like, it was like that. So I used to be actually scared to like express myself in front of people musically, because I thought, these guys that sing, they're professional singers. If I sing, I'm gonna sound silly, innit? So that I kept with that ethos. Then I started to listen to, when you had all the new sort of like UK Bhangra come in.
Yeah.
I was about 16 at the time. 15, 16 at the time, right? When all they first started. Now, I used to look at what they did, and then I started to write lyrics myself. I thought, you know what? I can do that, man. That's so cool. I like what they're doing there.
So what era was this? Sorry, when you said new Bhangra,
So the first few
DCS
MCs
era,
would have been like
band era, or do you mean the producer era afterwards?
No, it's literally the era I came in, because I came up fast. So if you imagine, I started writing lyrics when I'm like 14 or 15,
yeah,
and then I'm on like one of the biggest bangers of the year, Kamal, Marnaki. Like I've only just touched 18, bro. You know what I mean, innit? So within that 4-year period, my growth was like, it was from never having written a lyric before to being on a track. So I'm trying to explain that period, but it was actually quite fast. So I was in that same era. I didn't come much after the MCs that had just made their debuts a few years ago, but I was the one listening to them. You see what I mean? So gotcha, Apache Indian was one guy. I think I used to listen to quite a lot, Apache Indian, and I used to love his songs, man. They were very, very good. I never worked with Apache. I never really crossed paths with him until recently, actually. Obviously, you know what I mean? We connected up maybe about sort of a few months ago. Just because of like the musical connections and me coming back. A couple of people said, Apache, you guys used to do the old Punjabi rap. We just connected up, had a little chat, man. You know what I mean? Nothing major. But he was a guy that I used to listen to. I used to listen to a lot of Jazzy B. So those, like Jazzy B was like this cool, funky kid that came in, and he was singing in Punjabi, but he had this like modern look. And he was the first type of Punjabi. When you look at them and you think, yeah, man, that guy's cool. Apache Indian as well, he's speaking all the raga, ragamuffin and all that sort of stuff. So for me, I was listening to a lot of that, and then I saw the new breed of MCs come through, and I was like, do you know what? That's my style, man. I can do that. So I started writing lyrics, and the first lyrics that I wrote, actually, they were the set of lyrics that I did on Kamal, where I've gone like, obviously, Sasri Akal, Ki Hal Chal, Ode Kudi, Kamal. Lambe Bar with Krishal, that track Kamal, and it was with Marnaki, so that was one of my debuts. So incidentally, the first few set of lyrics that I wrote actually went on a track, and the other set of lyrics I wrote was Some Next Auntie, and bro, that's going viral to this day, man. Like that was just a joke. I literally I remember this vividly, sitting on my dining table and saying, what can I do just to take the mick? I'm literally just sitting there like, auntie I ruined my life, this, that, that. You know, you always do these auntie chatting about what studying you're doing, going university, always involved in your life. So I just wanted to write something funny, man. So obviously that's where Some Next Auntie was born, man. Cruising around in my Beamer, I'm a hardcore dealer. Come on, honey, you know that was sorry,
Sick,
that was
bro.
Kamal. I got into Kamal there, but this was Some Next Auntie approached the corner, see me cruising in my Beamer. That's where I got it from. It's the same line, isn't it? See me cruising in my Beamer, and one has whiskey, the other is like getting horny with a Desi dancer. You know, these things were taboo. You're not supposed to say that sort of stuff. And for me, I wrote that in the privacy of my own self. Like, because as I said, I wasn't expressing my music to anyone. It was only when I I left school and I started showing a few people my raps. Because at that point, the whole reason why I wasn't showing people, like, you know, someone at school, people take the mickey out of you.
Yeah.
They might bully you, be like, oh, you think you're a rapper, you think you're MC. And then I only showed it to very select few people. And then one time, one of my mates just goes, you're really good. But this was the type of mate that would always take the mick. You know, you get them mates
gotcha,
that are.
Yeah.
But so I couldn't take, but he looked serious, but I couldn't tell he was being serious because at the time I'm thinking, nah, you're just trolling me. You're just taking the mick, man. You know, you don't think I'm good. He goes, nah. He goes, no, you're actually really good. So I didn't take much notice of it. And then a couple more people, I showed it to them because I thought, you know what? If he thought it was good, let me just test. You know, was he joking with me or was he taking? I showed it to a few more people and they said, yeah, bro, like, that's good. We didn't know you could do that. They were amazed. You know, how can you come out with that? And I was like, okay. So I started to show my music to a few more people. Then I remember when I got to uni, there was like a Asian society function, and they'd put the budget together to get like RDB down, DJ Lightin MC Neat, and they gave an opportunity to people at the uni if they want to perform. So I knew one of the guys that was running the Asian Society at the time, and I said, "Look, man, I've been rapping. Let me show you my raps. Look, what do you think, man? Do you think
What
I
was
can
this at uni? Was
get a
it?
little
Sorry,
performance?" Yeah,
this
it
was
was
at
at uni.
uni.
Yeah, but this would have been a club performance, and I'd never even been clubbing much, man. I mean, obviously, I came from quite a strict family where you're not allowed to go to places. But when I got to uni, I was obviously, you know, it's interesting for us. All of us guys did it, man, back in them days. I know when you go to uni and you think, wow, you've been told you can't go to this place. I'm going to go to it. So obviously, then when I started to go, I started to realize the vibe. They did a gig, like a Punjabi Bhangra gig, and with garage, because a lot of those gigs used to mix garage with Bhangra. I don't know if you ever went to any of them, but you know what I mean? Back in those days, that's the vibe that it used to be. You know, you used to have like the Heartless Crews on one side of the lineup, then you'd have like the RDBs on the other side of the lineup, right? So obviously on this occasion, you had RDB and you had DJ Lightin MC Neat. So because I knew the guy, there was another American guy, Canadian guy, American guy. He was like a rapper. He used to rap, same first year at uni like me. We both put a little performance together. So he was going to go first, I was going to go second, and then we did a freestyle together. And because of the way it was, and we were university students, you know, we're repping the Asian Society, they put us in the middle of DJ Luck and MC Neat and also RDB, right? So RDB came on first, okay? Then after RDB, I came and did my set with the American kid. So he did his rap, I did my rap. And this is the first time I've ever performed my music
What you
publicly.
nervous?
So
Like,
really, it was daunting because I had 3,000 people in the venue, and I was scared, man. I was scared
who's
because I
egged
was
you?
thinking,
But, bro, who's egged you on to come and do? Did you go there and think I'm
no, I
going to
wanted
do
to do it.
this?
I wanted to do it. I wanted
Yeah,
to do it because at this point, I've got people telling me I'm good.
that you good.
I
Yeah,
showed it to the guy at the Asian Society, like I said, the president, and he was like, yeah, man, that could work well.
yeah.
We performed it, we auditioned it, we got everything perfect. And then I was like, on the day, I was obviously quite nervous, isn't it? Like 3,000 people. I've never even performed to a room of 15 or 20 people before, but I had this thing about me. I would really like to just get out there and like show myself, even though I was not showing myself. I really did want to get out there and do it. So what happened was I aced the performance. RDB come off. I aced the performance. It was really, really good. It went well. And I thought nothing of it. Obviously, I knew RDB and RDB didn't know me. So I thought nothing of him. And I come off my performance. What really worked well for me, though, was when I come off, DJ Lightin MC Neat used to do this thing where they pass the mic around to just random MCs. They just come up and grab the mic. I was already on the stage, and you got obviously these guys who are like rappers. They've come in, tried to like do this whole like inner circle, pass the mic around. And then what happened was MC Neat, he took the rap mic off all the rappers because they were all fighting for the mic, and he gave it to me. And I was like, what? And I wasn't there involved in that. I was just on the stage. I
Yeah.
just hadn't left the stage because I was buzzing off my performance, right? He gave me the mic. I started rapping my bars. So then you had RDB over there, like watching. And I'm like dropping. So I've just done my set and now I'm dropping like freestyles over like garage beats, yeah? Just dropping Punjabi bars and English bars mixed together. After I come off, I think it may have been a combination. I mean, Kuli come up to me from RDB and he goes, bro, he goes, are you a rapper? Like, are you well known? Are you underground? Or, you know, I've never heard of you before. I've never seen you before. What's the sketch, man? And I said, bro, to be honest with you, this is my first performance. I've never done this before. And he was shocked. He goes, look, man, he goes, you had MC Neat passing you the mic. When we come off the stage, we were watching you and we were like, yo, this guy's like hard. And I was like, what, bruv? You think I'm hard, bruv? You think that I'm good on your level? Like you're giving me praise. Like, bro, I'm a fan of you. He goes, oh, what? Do you listen to Punjabi music? I think because he thought I was like getting praised by all the sort of, DJ Luck and MC Neat, and I'm performing with an American rapper. All right, I'm dropping Punjabi bars. But I think they thought I was on a different scene. I wasn't even interested in the Bhangra scene. I might not even be that like into it. But I was like, bro, I'm like one of your biggest fans, man. You lot rock it, man. If anything, you guys are one of my inspirations to actually want to make music. You, Apache, as I mentioned before, all the old school guys I mentioned before, they was my inspiration, the Kuldeep Maniks, the Jazzy Bees. So I said to him, yeah, man, Punjabi music's my blood, man. I want to, this is brilliant for me. So Kuli then goes to me, he goes, how would you feel about coming up and recording a track with us? I've got this singer called Marniki. He's going to be making his debut. You can make your debut. Just come up there, vibes. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Just come up, we'll have a little laugh, go in the studio. Bruv, on the outside, I was like, yeah, man, that sounds good. On the inside, I wanted to jump up and down. Like, I've got this opportunity. Like, I remember people used to have to send their mixtape to these guys and they would like pile up and one person might make it through and then they might get on a track. And for me to be discovered in that way, to just be like, yo, like, you're a good MC. Like, we need you. I was humbled, bro. I was like, yo. So then what I did was I booked my train ticket as soon as possible. I called Kuli there next day. I was like, bruv, let's make this happen. That's when my excited young teenage kid came out. I said, bruv, let's make this happen. You tell me when you want me to come. He said, are you available this Saturday? Yeah, I'm available this Saturday. Don't worry about it. I'll drop everything. I'm coming to Leeds. So that's when I went up there. We recorded Kamal. No looking back from there, man. Then he called me up for the other tunes and it just went from there to there to there to there, man. And we just kept making tunes and killing it, man.
Okay, let's go back because we've missed a lot of detail, bro. Because I'll just let you go. I'll let you go on, but actually, there's a lot I want to know about.
Go on, bro. Go on. It's funny you say that. I'm just going to an in-depth explanation, and you still want more details. So
no. We missed loads out, bro. Honestly, but I didn't want to stop your flow because you were in the thing and
yeah, of course,
really
bro,
interesting. But first, where did you learn to read and where did you learn to write? I was going to say read and write, of course.
As in write lyrics?
Yeah. Where did that come from?
I didn't. I just kind of started writing, bro. I was always very good at English. I got like A-star at English Lit and English Language at GCSE. So I was quite an astute student, man. When it come to English language, I had a good command of it. And I used to love poetry and things like that. So I didn't really have a structured way of writing. In fact, I'll tell you something interesting, right? Let me tell you something really interesting. And I don't know I've never met any other MC that does this, okay? I'm one of the only MCs that I know of and other people know of that I don't write to the bar system. So most MCs, right, I'm going to write bars, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I just write and then I fit. The music has to fit with me. I will manipulate my lyrics to go over the music. I don't have to. Some MCs, they can't write unless they've got a beat. With me, I'll be like, what tempo are you doing it at? Then I'll just write the song and then I'll fit over it. So that's the way I've always done it. I don't really go to the conformed bar system. And I never stopped as well, because at one point people used to say to me, can you write 8 bars? And bro, I didn't know what 8 bars was. I couldn't stop on 8 bars. I'd write like 9 bars or something like that. So the MCs and the rappers that were working with me had to adjust or tell me to drop a lyric or add a lyric in to just fit that 8-bar system that these guys were doing. Because I didn't understand that system, when I did try to understand it, I found that actually I was doing it in a better way, because when you ignore the bar system, your flow comes out in a completely different way. Like it's almost like you're dictating the beat rather than the beat dictating you. So I've still kept that. I don't write with bars. I know, I obviously now, after doing MCing for that long, you know, I understand the bar system completely. It didn't take me long to understand it, probably about 3 or 4 years, and I was nailing it. You know what I mean? But I still I still chose to keep that same way of writing lyrics. And that maybe even displays you, like where you say, where did you learn to write? I didn't. I taught myself. So that for me was kind of like, I didn't have a design, is what I'm trying to say to you. There was no design. For me, I just wrote the lyrics, and then I heard the beat, and then I made them fit the beat. That's it. I didn't have like, if you for example, I used to say to, I worked with some artists like Cami K. Some of my songs even get released by Cami K, RDB, Notorious Chart. I would say to them, send me the song and give me the gap. Then I used to write in the gap.
Yeah.
Because if you gave me the song and the gap, I know where I need to stop my lyrics. I can practice and go there.
Yeah.
But if you tell me you want 8 bars, I'm probably going to come out with 9 or 8.5 because the BPM might change, or this might happen, or my lyrics might go over. I might say some lyrics faster, slower. But for me, that was it, bro. So in terms of how did I learn to write, I didn't. I just kind of taught myself. And I think, to be honest with you, bro, that's one of the reasons why I stood out as well. I stood out because MCs, they had a structure. I just threw the structure out the window, bro. The way I used to write, and I never changed it because you know what? It works so well for me. It works so well for me.
That's phenomenal, bro. Because you know what's really interesting, like I write as well, and it's lovely seeing. It seems to me you're writing as a lyricist rather than an MC,
Yes.
as a poet, and that's really. And let me tell you another interesting fact, bro. You know who else was really clued up in poetry and English? Apache Indian. He's the same.
Yeah, so that makes sense, bro.
Yeah.
Totally. And to be fair, as I said, he was one of my earlier influences anyway. So for me, like, I kind of like, I used to listen to a lot of his music. So for me, it was like, that guy's mixing in Punjabi bars. So me and Bohemia, like, classify it, were the first like Punjabi rappers, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
Apache Indian was a rapper as well, but he obviously used to mix his Punjabi. But I never really like viewed him as a rapper. I viewed him as like an artist, like a total artist, where he could, because he was doing like the reggae Punjabi.
Exactly,
so obviously, if someone was to turn around and say Apache Indian came before you for Punjabi rap, I acknowledge that. But obviously, when we had the whole thing where Bohemia now claims to be the first Punjabi rapper, like, that means I'm the first Punjabi rapper because my songs came out a couple of months before his. You know what I mean? So obviously I was doing it here in the UK, he was doing it out there. But it's like sort of almost like it became like a claim, like a state to claim sort of thing. I'm the first Punjabi rapper because we obviously then did it in a different way. We're actually like doing rap format, whereas Apache was doing like a reggae format where you're kind of like doing. So if he turns around and says, "Look, I was the first Punjabi rapper," there's no argument there. He was the first person rhyming bars in Punjabi and doing them in English and singing songs in that. But obviously, when you're talking about like actual rap, like rap structure and whatever you want to call it,
because he wasn't hip hop, and
he wasn't hip hop, he wasn't garage, he was kind of like into the reggae and the pop and stuff like that. So that's why when Bohemia was saying, he's the first Punjabi rapper and all that used to go around, I was like, well, nah, I'm not taking that, bro, because if that's the case, I'm the first Punjabi rapper, you know what I mean? So that's where that whole first Punjabi rapper thing came from. But, we have to give props where it's due, man. There was a few rappers and lyricists and MCs that did sort of pave the way for us guys to be able to do what we were doing. And yeah, that's where that's all I've got to say on that, bro, to be honest with you.
That's amazing, bro. And the other thing I wanted to ask you is there's loads.
By the way, I know I went off topic there, but I needed to explain that because obviously you were talking about Apache Indian's poetry, but then that links into that where it kind of like sort of says, okay, well, you know what? It kind of makes sense because Jazzy B, Kuldeep Manak, that raw folk singing style. Then you got Apache Indian. Then you had the first few garage MCs, and my style was kind of fused from like. I didn't really like copying people, but I thought, you know what? I want to do a bit of garage. I want to do a bit of rap. I want to mix a bit of Punjabi. So I kind of formed my own style in that sense, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then, so Apache was one of those guys that, as you said, he's a good lyricist. So it makes sense that I followed suit in the same way.
Yeah. So the other thing I wanted to ask you, okay, so you had a choice of rapping and singing. Why didn't you go? Because your Punjabi is so good. and you had singing in the family. Why didn't you go towards singing instead? Why
I don't
rapping?
know, bro. It's I don't know. Do you know what it was? I'll tell you what it was, right? So you see that whole confidence bias that I talked about earlier,
Yeah,
where I couldn't show my songs to people. So when I was in recording studios, when you've got like other rappers around me, I could turn around and say, I'm one of the best rappers in this building, because that
yeah,
confidence came because people, when I'm watching other people's rap, I saw my recordings go and I'm like, you know what? I'm good at this and no one can deny it. I'm already getting the response for it. Brilliant. With the singing, however, I was shy to show it to people because I thought maybe I can't sing. Because, you know, my Jaja, he was classically like sort of trained. He kind of
yeah,
not classic. He wasn't classically trained. Sorry, he used to train in the classical way. He did the Vaja, you know, Raja
yeah,
there.
yeah,
He
yeah,
had like a trainer that used to train
yeah.
him. So I wouldn't know, like, you know, people say classically trained. I don't even know how that goes, to be honest with you. But what I know is that he had at the start, he was learning to sing properly. So from my perspective, I never had that. I just kind of, you know, looked at songs just the same way I wrote the lyrics. I used to just look at songs and think, I can sing that song, I can hold that note. But I never had the professional outlook on it. Like, for example, if you had someone came in, like Lambert Hussain Puri or someone like that, I would just be like, it's time for me to just shut my mouth now, man, because I can't do the levels that he's doing. Do you understand
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Yeah.
yeah,
So even though I used to look at other singers and think I can sing better than that guy, though, if that makes sense, right?
yeah, yeah.
So I was looking at other Punjabi singers, think I can do better than him, but I can't do better than him. So I didn't feel like I could reach a peak. And I've always been a bit of a perfectionist. Every time, you've probably seen this on my social media, right? Every time I will call other rappers out if they claim that they can do a better rap than me, then I'm happy to clash them. So like the battle rap, the culture, right?
Yeah.
So I've always kept a very hip hop feel on it. Like, okay, if you think you're better than me, let's go. I couldn't do that with singing. Even now, I couldn't do that with singing, even with all my experience, because as I said, you know, you have
Yeah.
to get to a certain level with singing. Now, why did I keep that hidden? Because every time I tried to show it to a few people, they'd be like, nah, bro, stick with the rapping. Because my rapping was so high, bro. It was so
Yeah,
elite
gotcha.
that I didn't realize it was because of that. But I just used to, because when you show someone you're singing and you've never sang before, now, and all of a sudden they've seen you on this track, like busting up hard bars, you know, like iconic bars, legendary bars or whatever, and you're now trying to sing, they're thinking, nah, bro, you know what I mean? Leave that to Lember, man. Leave that to Monik. Leave that to those guys,
Yeah.
man. So I was just like kind of just put a little lid on it, man. I put a little lid on that one. I came back 2013, 2014. That's when my confidence had grown. And I, you know, practiced more singing, learned how to sing. And I did a couple tracks, man. I did about 3 or 4 tracks. I don't know if you've heard any of my Punjabi singing stuff, but there was the
I
Bichli
haven't
Gully
known.
track that, yeah, so have a listen to it, man. Some of it's good, man.
Wow.
I've done a track called Bichli Gully. That went quite big. So I sang and I rap on that track. And then I did a very Desi track called Ole Ole. Yeah, and that one I've actually exercised my vocals on as well. You can have a listen to that. I got a good response to that,
You
man.
just send me a
I
map
wrote. The good
information.
thing about it is I wrote and composed those songs as well. So it wasn't like
Really?
I was just, yeah, man. I wrote, composed. In terms of, see, with me, I don't just do things half-heartedly. If I'm going to do it, I've got to be able to do it properly. So at the point where I got to recording songs, you got to imagine I started rapping. My first debut track, Kamal, was out in 2001. You fast forward 12 years later, 2013 is when I released my debut singing track. Yeah, that's a long time, bro. 12 years, right? For me to say, you know what? I can sing now and let me do a track.
Wow.
Yeah, I did some recordings in the studio here and there before that, but that was the first time I thought, right, I'm going to put a full on release on this because I've got the confidence to do it. So yeah, man. So when I felt like I could reach that pinnacle, if that makes sense, like the same where I could do that
Gotcha.
elite level rapping, where I could do a good level and a good performance. I've always been a perfectionist, bro, because the way I see things is if you're going to do something, do it properly. Otherwise, don't do it, man. There's no point doing it. And then that reflects in my songs as well. That's why I get feedback off my songs. People say, your bars, that bar, remember that bar from 2001, remember that bar from 2003. When I say bar, obviously, for anyone that's listening, we were talking about bars earlier, right? So lyrics, so to speak. So those lyrics that resonate, they were the ones that I did it when I did it properly, so to speak. In that, if that makes sense. I'm not sure if that was
Yeah,
kind
so
of
basically,
clear it up.
just for the audience, so bars is like 4 beats to the bar. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's one bar. But so basically,
Yeah,
when you're producing, you have these bars visible, and bro, you
yeah,
have the bars visible, so you can see the bars. So just for the
yeah.
audience's
Yeah,
clarification.
exactly. Yeah. So if you,
Yeah,
so for example, when people say, yeah, your bars were hard or your bars were
yeah,
good, that, for example, let's take float like a butterfly, sting like a Punjabi. Someone would be like, that bar was hard. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? That antara, whatever you want to call it,
yeah,
antara, that pera, where,
yeah.
things
So
like that. You can sort of say it in Punjabi as
that's the
well.
slang that's come out of the musical term, isn't it? That's what's happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's it. That's
the
it.
rap scene's
Yeah,
brought that to it. So, okay,
yeah.
get back to where did the name Lightning MC come from?
Do you know what, bro? Again, I scribbled down some names. I remember writing 2 or 3 names. I remember the other one that I was gonna be known as, but I ended up going for Lightning in the end. And I think the 2 names it came down to was Furious or Lightning. And Fury Os was going to be because it was going to be Fury, Fury, and then OS, Furious. Yeah, because OS is my initials
Yeah.
on Kasuma, right? So it was going to be Fury Os like that, but it was going to be, MC Furious or Lightning MC. And then I don't know why, just Lightning just had a ring to it, man. I just chose to go with that. I
So
didn't really have a design behind it. I just kind of,
is that what you told RDB when you were thinking, I'm called Lightning MC? Did they
no,
ask
no,
you
no,
your
no, no.
name?
I decided my name at that point. I decided my name. I'm talking about when I'm 14 or 15 and I'm scribbling
Okay.
down names on a paper. If I'm going to rap, what shall I call myself? So in some next study, I've labeled myself Lightning MC. So while I'm writing that, I think it was actually when I was writing that rap, I thought, you know what, I need to put a rap name to this because you've got all these other rappers out there. They've got names,
Yeah.
that guy's got this name, that's got this MC, that's got that MC. I can't choose a name that everyone else has already got. I've got to think of something unique. So yeah, Lightning it was the two between. I mean, Lightning's obviously fast, it's quick, it's kind of like it defines a power of nature. There's something about it that I thought, you know what, I'm going to go with that, and then I stuck with it.
No, it really suits you. To be fair, it's the speed of
Cheers, bro.
rapping as well. It just goes really well. You have
Yeah,
the way you drop your
yeah.
bars. So, yeah, I know.
I mean, it's quite interesting because if you look at the name Lightning MC, like my rise was very fast. Now I
Yeah,
came, as I said, I just explained my journey where we were talking about from me writing my first lyrics to actually recording a fully fledged song. You're talking about 3 years, bro. So that's pretty lightning fast, man. So it kind of like suits my career trajectory as
yeah,
well. Where I went from, 2001, I recorded Kamar, 2002, I recorded Billo, and what was it, Billo, Some Next Stunty, and Danger 3 came out the following year with Punjabi 2003. 2004 had some releases, and 2005 we had Ash, then the Players Lab album 2006. Bro, I was on like, I don't even have to explain it to you. I was probably on about 10 or 12 hit tracks within a space of about 4 years, man. So for me, that's pretty lightning, bro. So it kind of suits the trajectory of my career. It suits the rapping styles and everything I was doing, man. So yeah, stuck with it, man. It was a good
So
shout, I think.
did you have hip hop influences as well at that time that influenced your rapping? Or
Let me tell you something interesting, bro. I used to love the idea of rapping on hip hop, but I just couldn't do it. So in my first garage years, everyone used to be like, you know what? I always used to like to challenge myself, right? But on very few hip hop beats, I just used to get stuck. I was like, because the beat slows down so much, and I was like, I can hit bars on it, but it just, again, bars lyrically, I can do it, but it's not sounding right. I did some performances where I just came back and I thought, nah, that didn't drop right. It didn't go very well. And so then what that made me do is it made me start studying hip hop. Me being the person that I am, I like, as I said, I explained that to you earlier with the singing and with the
yeah,
rapping. I like to get to a pinnacle, right? So if I'm going to do something, do it properly. So then I started to really study hip hop around 2005 to 2006 ish. Around the time I left, 2007, I actually started to actually write good bars of hip hop and started sounding really, really good on hip hop. But what really elevated my hip hop was I was a big fan of Dr. Dre, Eminem from the start. So I forgot to tell you, but when I went to uni, that's kind of where my evolution came. You know, with listening to like Chronic 2001, for example, and 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying. They were my favorite sort of rap albums back then, innit? You know what I mean? I was rinsing them on repeat. There's Ludacris, Chicken and Beer. So there's certain albums like that. So that then basically, even though I was an avid listener of hip hop, I was fairly new to hip hop. Not only as a listener, but as an MC as well. It wasn't something that was going to work for me. I hadn't studied it enough. Interestingly enough, though, what I started to do when I left the music scene around 2007, 2008, can't remember the exact point where I left, but it was around that sort of period. From 2007, let's say, up to 2013, that 6-year gap that I had between releases, bro, I became a music fan. And my biggest, like, get up was battle rapping, clashing, hip hop beats. I just went in, bro. I wasn't even trying to study to actually make a release. It was like as a MC, as a former MC, I'm like, this is amazing. This is a new world. The battle rapping, the way they come at each other, the way they drop the punchlines, you know, the speed they deliver it at, hip hop beats, hitting it nice and slow. The flows, you know, I started to appreciate flows of people like Busta Rhymes and Eminem, the way they come in, 2-time a track. And then I really started to slow my process, start to understand the rap game, like the rap game. Because before we were talking about garage MCs, I always associate MCing to like garage. And then I thought rap to rappers, you know. So that's when I really perfected my craft, bro. I really perfected my craft. I started to try out new things. I had that rap battle where I called out Raftard, and I didn't think he was going to reply, to be honest with you, because I'd finished my career ages ago. I just put a little cheeky tweet out, and one of my mates rings me up and goes, bro, that guy, that rapper from India, he's replied to you, man. And to be honest with you, at the time, I was thinking, out of all of the people I called out, he's probably the only one I didn't want to reply, because he's, you know what, props to him, he's a very good rapper. But he's a very, very good rapper, bro. Yeah. But then I literally looked at his track, the one he did with Man's Music, and I was like, yo, this guy, he goes in, man. Maybe I shouldn't have called him out because it's been a while. Yeah, I've been studying battle rap, but I don't know if I'm up to this. But bro, that was when, in fact, that was actually when I realized, do you know what? I'm the A side. Because what I did was, having been out for so long, yeah, I took, bro, I'm not joking. That's probably one of my biggest, it's not my biggest career achievement, it's my biggest achievement as a music artist to what I did. Not the battle with rap or the beef with Raftard, but what I did, how I demonstrated my skill to myself. I kid you not, within 24 hours, because I was watching the beefs between Youngin and Chip. I don't know if you know Chipmunk and Youngin, right? They had a beef going with each other, right? And they were doing this thing where they replied to each other within 24 hours.
So what year was this, sorry? What year was this?
This was just before then. I can't remember the exact years, but it was around probably 11, 12, something like around there, right? So before, it could have been even after that, but I think I did my Raftard diss around 2015, 2016. So it was around that sort of time. I kind of started to look at them guys going back and forth with each other. And what one of the things they did was to show their skill was how fast I'm going to reply to you, right? So these guys would drop a video, an audio, a fully recorded track within like 48 hours.
This is on social media, is it? Is this happening on social media? Where's this happening?
So let's say, for example, Youngin did a track, yeah? And then Chipmunk returns a track to him within 24 hours with a video, fully audio, mastered, lyrics written, everything from scratch, replying to what he said in his track. Because it's one thing just writing a rap track that you've got from back then, but someone's just called you out and said this, you now got to make that relevant, and you've got to record it, and then you've got to release it. You can't do that by coincidence, because if he's turned around and said, bro, it's mind-blowing. The way they did, the speed they did it with, I couldn't believe it. And the other thing as well, this is, you can see my excitement coming out, because this is what really got me into the rap game, right? So what I did then, I did the same to Raftard. And I knew none of the Punjabi industry understands rap on the level that I understand it now. Because at that point, I'm talking about now, yeah? Because of what I'd studied, what I'd seen, the way I'd seen these guys beefing each other, King of the Dot, all that sort of stuff. You've got rappers like Shotty Horror, Disaster, all those guys, I studied what these guys were doing, where they're actually having battle raps. They're going in on each other, bro. They are going to the point where if you were standing in front of that person, you think they're almost trying to start a fight with you. Things they're saying about your, you know, your parents, your dead relatives, and things like that. And obviously, I don't want to do all that because coming from a Punjabi family, but the intensity that I saw in there was like, it was different. It was complete. It was like almost like you can't teach that. That stuff is just raw, and that's what then crafted me to be able to like sort of do the same sort of thing, but launch it to the Punjabi industry. So I made a point even on that battle rap disc to say this is the first ever Punjabi battle rap. All right, you might have had MCs that have called for each other, clashed with each other. Battle rap's different. There is no beat. You just do it. Bam. You literally MC against each other, freestyle a cappella. There is no beat. You're just literally, it's almost like a cussing match.
So is that live or is it like going back and forth, like just how we understand
it's live, but I think what they do is when they set it up, they set the match up so two rappers will do it. So this is what King of the Dot and all that sort of stuff is. Then those rappers go at each other for like, they have like 2-minute rounds, 3 2-minute rounds or something like that. They'll set the terms. It's almost like a boxing match, and they're there boxing each other but lyrically. And I've seen some of them, like they've had punches thrown in them. It was awesome, man. You watch those things, and for obviously not the punches being thrown, but the awesomeness is it's so raw because it's so real. You've literally got someone saying these horrible things to you, and you're going to reply to them. And then if they basically do it better than you, the whole crowd's going to boo you and it's going to cheer them because it's that type of crowd, man. It's like 8 Miles. I've seen the film.
I've seen that. What I mean is your rap battle with Raftar, because he's based in India, no?
Yeah.
So how did that play out?
So what happened was he replied back saying, "Let's go."
This is on social media. So just help the audience.
Yeah. So he replied back to my tweet, which I've still got copies of them tweets, man. They're still up there somewhere, man. But he basically replied back going, "Let's go." So what I did was, I thought, you know what? I'm not going to do this Punjabi way. I'm going to do this the proper way. Yeah. So what I did was I said, listen, Raftar, note the time down. Within, I don't know if it was, I think it was 24 hours I said to him, I'm going to come back at you in 24 hours. Now, these guys didn't know about time limits because they was just like, all right, someone drops a rap, then you drop one back. But I was doing the way Chipmunk and Youngin did theirs. I was like, look, I'm going to show you my skills in 24 hours. So what I did, bro, you got to bear in mind, I hadn't written lyrics for a while. I was off the scene for a while. I definitely not to this tune where I'm going to basically go at this guy with personals. I then basically wrote the lyrics. At the time, I was running my own business. So my employees must think I'm going mad, innit? You know what I mean? Writing lyrics and stuff. Like, what's this guy doing? He's supposed to be like working on this project with us. And now he's over there like scribbling. My employees are coming over to me like, yo, are you going to sort my pay? I'm like, 1 minute. Yeah. So Raftar, bar, this, that. And they're all going, what's this guy doing, man? You know what I mean? Like a corporate office doing this. So anyway, I put everything into it, bro. I wrote about 5 pages, long pages of rap, yeah? It ended up being 4.5 minutes on camera. It was in one take. I did that from scratch. Absolutely. It had to be from scratch because all the things I said in there were so relevant to our tweeting back and forward. And you couldn't just, it's not like I could have prepared that beforehand. I literally said his name. I was talking about Manj Music, RDB, talking about his songs, direct at him, because the beef had only just kicked off. So it's not like I had a whole bunch of material prepared on Raftar from day one. I literally mentioned things like that were actually relevant and current. Now, to do this in a space of 24 hours from scratch to a fully unadulterated 4.5 minutes of rap with no cuts, no edits, straight to a camera. It's one thing writing that much lyrics.
Yeah.
It's another thing practicing that much lyrics. And it's another thing pulling it off for 4.5 minutes without making a mistake.
Absolutely.
Bro, and I did that. And that was the test for me. It wasn't that I beat him. It was the fact that I achieved that. And for me, I was happy. Even before I put it out, even before I got any response to it, I was like, yo, I go, this guy, I don't think he can reply to this. I actually said to myself when I did it, I said, you know what? I thought first 24 hours, rewind 24 hours. I don't think I can do this, man. This guy's good. You know, I've been out the game for this long. Listen to the way he's dropping those. Oh my God, I can't do this. Then all of a sudden, I've got my final product. I've seen the one. You see in the video, the light starts going down. So I had about 2 or 3 takes, basically, because you have to do it from start to scratch.
How did you record this? Was it on your phone at the time? How did you record this?
No, my video guy was just filming it on a camera.
So you got a video guy to do it. This is full on.
I've got a video, yeah. I'll send it to you later. It's literally one take. You'll see, there's no edits on it.
Yeah.
Bro, it's insane. It was insane, right? So you got the light coming down, and he goes to me. He goes, oh, we tried it in one location. It didn't work because there was car noises in the background. I messed up one of my bars and this and that. Because I got to about 3 minutes, and then I said one word wrong, and I didn't like that. Being a perfectionist, I was like, nah, it's not going to work. So then we went to another car park, parked up the cars, and he goes to me. He goes, listen. He goes, if you want to meet this 24-hour timeline, he goes, you've got 1 take left. He goes, the sun's cut. This camera's going to go dark in about 8 minutes. And you've got 4 minutes to record. And you're probably going to start seeing some sunlight drop, which actually happens in the video. If you look at the video, it's changing from light to day. It's changing from day to almost like nighttime type of a vibe, right? And bro, I nailed it. I did it. Because the pressure was on, and I was thinking it's not going to happen. Then I'm not going to be able to say I did this in this time frame. Then I'm going to have to give him more time. But I managed to nail it, uploaded it, sent it across. Bro, my tweets were going nuts, man. Even Raftar himself, do you know a guy called Big Bird that produced So High? Yeah, he was going to make the beat for Raftar. They all started tweeting like, yo, that's fire. Like, yo, you know, see, these guys, I've just dissed them. And they're like, this is fire. Some people didn't even understand it. Some people think, what the hell is this guy doing? He's just rapping to a camera, you know, saying all this, like, madness with so much intensity, like he's angry at someone, but he's just talking to a camera. They didn't understand. Most of the Punjabi industry don't even understand what battle rap is.
Yeah.
But anyone that can rap, anyone that knows what battle rap is, anyone that knows what that industry is, yeah, they will tell you the skill involved, and I know this as well because I did it. The skill involved in what I did there, it surpassed everything I've ever done in my career. And it wasn't even as popular as it, because Rafard ended up not replying. I knew he wasn't going to reply because I think he thought he's such a good MC that there's no one else can beat me. And I'm not even just saying that from an ego perspective. If I was him, I would have said the same thing. But then I think he must have had second thoughts because Manj Music was his producer. So maybe when he asked Manj, he was like, you know, this Lightnin MC guy. Manj just probably thought, yeah, he's just a garage MC, bruv, you're smoking. You know, like maybe it was just like a casual conversation. What I came at him with was far above a level that you'd experienced, bro. I'm not saying that in a cocky way. I'm saying that because the level that I gave him, I saw his level and I thought, I can't just meet his level. I've got to give him more. So that's why I literally designed it in such a way that if he doesn't reply back to me now in 24 hours, there's not even any point, because that means I've won the battle. Because unless he gives me 1 take, 4.5 minutes from scratch, gives personals at me, I'm not buying it. And everyone else can say what they want to. Everybody, all his fans can say he won, but he knows from his heart that he couldn't do it. He didn't do it, bro. He never replied, kept making excuses, and then eventually just stopped replying. And then I just used that to troll a little bit, Lightnin MC, first ever Punjabi battle rap, And then I started doing this thing where I started to clash other MCs as well. And it was just like sometimes for fun, sometimes it would get a little bit serious. And I started dropping this one line. When Lightnin MC drops a video reply, the other MCs won't ever rap back. So it was like my tagline, because every time I did drop a video reply, the music stopped from their side, bro. I'm not joking. I'm not being egotistical, but this is from a skill level, because I know my skill. I know what I'm capable of. I know how long I've done this for. I know what I've studied. I know flows, timings, everything. So I felt like that was the pinnacle, because it wasn't just no longer, Lightnin MC from the RDB days, the guy that made big tunes. This is a guy that I become that can actually certify myself with underground rappers, overground rappers, and any rapper that listens to me will now be able to say, you know what, this guy, he's got that skill, he's got that level that we can respect and we can appreciate. And I started to get that as well, because I did get a lot of responses from people that I wouldn't usually get responses from. Some people saying, bro, I thought you was just this garage MC, man, but you know what you did there, oh my God, that's fire. And then I released a few more tracks and then I kind of stopped. But bro, yeah, you know, that's from what I'm saying there is why I feel like I achieved so much is because I challenged myself at a time where I thought, I can't do this. I managed to make that product absolutely superior. I wouldn't even call it a product. I would just say lyrics, poetry, superior. And to myself, forget anyone else that was watching, to myself, I was like, I did that. I did that. And that was, for me, probably one of my biggest, I can look back and say, do you know what? That's where it clicked for me. That's where it was like, you know what, I can say that, you know, at GOAT level, like when you score the goal in the World Cup final, whatever you want to call it. And again, not on an egotistical way, but just purely because I know that the skill, the talent, everything that I had, it paid off because that's what I achieved. So yeah, man, I know I went into that a bit too much. Hopefully, it didn't get
It's
too
great.
boring. But that was
This
passion
is
coming out of me there, bro.
this has been my most favorite part of the podcast so far because I really want to watch that, bro. So, can you put that back on social media, bro, so we can all check it out?
It's on. It's on. It's on. It's only got about 9 or 10K views. It's not like big on YouTube, but I even, to be honest with you, I disabled the comments, bro, because like it was just getting mad. Like, because I was off the scene. I'm usually about free speech and I'll let people comment on my videos and stuff. But at that point, I was just off the scene, man. So I was like, I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle like looking at the comments, replying back to them, like, you know, getting sort of like, you know, there was some good comments, there were some bad comments. You know, some of his fans were a bit salty because he didn't reply. And I kept saying to them, you know, reply on Twitter and stuff. And then I just kind of thought, you know what, this guy's not going to reply. I disabled the comments. I'm just going to leave the video up. So that one's, it's still up there. The only thing I did was literally disable the comments. I might actually enable them again because, yeah, it's on YouTube, man. It's on YouTube. I might even enable them again because, to be honest with you, I feel like people should be able to comment. But at that time, it was just the situation was, you know, I just kind of like
so we're gonna go back because that
limited
it. Honestly, bro, that was just such an amazing insight into a world that I'm not part of, and for me, it was
bro, I've just realised how forward I've come. Let me just relax again, man, because you know where all that energy I just expended explaining all that to you, man. I feel like I've done another rap tune.
No, bro, honestly, hats off to you. It's so fascinating, like for me, because I think what you've enabled, what you've done is you've talked about the skill of rapping, and that's not in itself. You've made that. You've made me as a musician think, wow, this is how you perfect the art. This is what you do. This is what you had to go through. So that's hats off to you for that, bro. Honestly, not many rappers come and who I talk to. They you can't elaborate that part of it, which you did a fantastic job, and especially I can see the passion that you're so passionate about it, and it's coming across. So hats off to you for that. So I just want to go back. Believe it or not, we're almost an hour already. But I want to.
No way. Okay.
But okay. I'm enjoying myself so much.
It's mostly me talking, isn't it?
No, yeah, but it's about you at the moment, bro. So, I mean, as I said, this conversation and it's flowed naturally. I haven't had to force anything or try to sort of provoke anything or you know invoke anything. You've just gone for it, which is what I want. And so let's go back a bit. When you were with RDB, when you were releasing all these songs, and I remember Danger 3, that was one of the biggest pocket albums at that time. Even now, it's you know phenomenal. Yeah. So, what was success like that for you at the time? Were you gigging? What was happening in your life at that time?
I mean, bro, to be honest with you, I wasn't really in it for the money and stuff, man. It wasn't like the money, the gigs, or anything like that. I was just like, I was gassed, bro. Like an 18-year-old that's just gone on TV now, and I'm getting recognised everywhere I go. I would go down to like, you know, Southall, Broadway, Soho Road, you know, Manchester, Wilmslow Road, all the top like Narborough Road in Leicester, all these places where you've got Asians. And I couldn't walk more than 10 meters without getting recognized, bro. And sometimes within that 10 meters, I'd get mobbed by people, you know? So, like, you know, you're Lightnin MC when you're releasing a new track, can I get an autograph? So for me, that was the biggest thing. Like, I couldn't, you know, obviously, yeah, we did the gigs. We did loads of gigs, man. But the main thing for me was the recognition. Like, even now, you know, when I think about it, bro, I'll give you an example. I went to a mixed martial arts club in Bedford, right? And then on the way back, I stopped off to get a pizza. I mean, obviously, as you do, innit? You do a big training session, then you go and get a big fat pizza afterwards. Makes loads of sense, don't it? Yeah. But anyway, so I've got a pizza. The delivery driver starts looking at me, and I'm like, bruv, like, what's the matter here? And I'm thinking, like, this guy's gonna like sort of do something. He might have a bit of beef with me. So I've gone, you all right, bruv? And he's gone, yeah. And I thought, like, you know, what's up, bro? He goes, bro. He goes, I don't want to be rude, man, but did you used to rap? And I'm like, oh, is that what it is, bro? Like, I went from like, I might have to defend myself in a situation here to like, oh, okay. Right, what, you want to talk about that, bro? Like, he was acting like weird, bro. And I'm like thinking, I'm out of town, man. I don't know what's going on here, bro. You know what I mean? This guy's looking at me a little bit weird. Maybe he thinks I've nicked his pizza that he's about to deliver or something. He's got the Domino's uniform on as well. But he looked quite ghetto, isn't it? Like quite sort of like a street bunda. So he then goes, yo, bro. He goes, I recognize you, man. Like, you used to rap, didn't you? He goes, are you Lightnin MC? And I was like, yeah, bro. I go, but then I was almost like, I didn't want to say I am because it's been so long. Like, I didn't feel like it was credible for me to be recognized in that way, you know, because I've been off music so long. Similar sort of thing happened to me when I was just at home. One of the DPD drivers dropped something off to my door. He was a Punjabi guy from Kent. He's popped his van off. I've taken the delivery through the window, not even the door, you know, like I've just opened I've had a bay window, I've opened it open. And he's gone, oh, 1 minute, bro, 1 minute, bro. I go, yeah, what's up, bro? He goes, bro, I recognize your face, you know. I'm like, yeah, but I don't recognize you, man. I thought, you know, like I might see you here and there or whatever. But I go, where are you from? And then he goes, I'm from Kent. He goes, no, it's not that, bro. He goes, you used to do music, didn't you? I said, yeah, I did, bro. What, you recognize me? And then I actually made a video of it as well. I was like, yo, like, because I was like shocked in it. So I said, so what, you recognize my music? And then put up a video. I still got that video. I never even uploaded it on socials or anything, but it was just kind of funny to be like, I'm still getting recognized for it. Now, coming back on that same topic, which I probably over-exhausted there, 2025, seeing that same thing on TikTok now, people coming back with, yeah, he's a legend, where's he been? It's just that what I did 20 years ago is still recognized, and I've still got people out there that remember me, remember my bars, my lyrics, what you want to call it, bars, lyrics, Joey Hub, something like that. Remember, you know, the fact that my voice, if I go to, for example, weddings sometimes, I've hear like my song come on. It's like that's my voice, even though it's just a song to everybody else. That's my voice in the background. I'm like, wow, like I recorded that 15 years ago or 20 years ago, and here's my voice playing at a party and loads of people dancing to it. So it's surreal, bro. The fact that my music's been able to like get out in that way, and I know it might sound silly to other artists or whatever that might be currently doing stuff, but looking back on it, when you haven't done it for a long time and you look at yourself through that time loop and you sit there and think, wow, man, like this actually, you know, my music's touched people. You know, people know my lyrics, people recognize me for a certain thing that I said on a track. People might know me for an interview or an audio that I've recorded, and those things, you know, but my music will stay, bro. I don't know, 100 years, 200 years, at some point, it's going to be on all these like apps like Apple and YouTube, and it's always going to be out there, man. So who knows, man? In 200 years' time, who's going to be listening to my song or remembering me because I did that, you know? And I'm not even there to even see that. So that's, for me, that's it's insane, bro. I'm not going to lie, that is insane.
Crazy. So, okay, let's get to because I want to wrap up. Just say another 15 minutes or so, because what's your battery like?
I don't even know, bro. I'll have to check for you. I'm going to move my phone and check for you. Hold on.
Yeah. So we're doing this live, guys, so don't worry. Yeah, we're just checking his battery.
I can't even see, bro.
Don't worry. We'll carry on. Don't worry.
Bro, to be fair, I'm good. I've got about 50% left, man. You can. We've got another 3 hours left yet, mate. We get that one, yeah.
So, guys, we're doing this live, so that's why we're not going to edit any of this because it's all real. So, anyway, so
it's that one take battle rap, isn't it? Like 4.5 minutes of
absolutely, bro. That's why I like it because it keeps.
This is the pinnacle, though, because this is an hour and a half, bro. So this is a proper freestyle.
I had a guy who works with Calvin Harris, who worked with Calvin Nash, Diana Ross, called Jason Bavanandan, so works on mainstream, proper mainstream guy. Jason, his name was, and his fire alarm was going off in the background. His stuff, and he even said to me, he goes, Raj, keep it on, don't cut this out.
No, but do you know what it is, bro? Sometimes these things is what makes us human and normal to like, because other people might see you in a music video or they might judge you for a thing you said because you've said it in an interview, or, you know, the marketing element. But this is the reality of it all, man. We're all bunda at the end of the day, innit? Like, one-to-one, as a bunda, you sit with another person, you think, I could probably chill with this guy, man. I could go for a meal with this guy, or, you know, this guy is saying something, you know, he supports Man United, for example, or something like that. You know, I don't like it, or I do like it. You know, these things make you more human, man. So it's all good, bro.
I'm a Liverpool
fan.
Are
you a Liverpool fan, yeah? All right, let's cancel this interview now, then, bro, because you lot are doing better than us, isn't it?
Bro,
I'm kidding, man. Carry on, bro.
But you've summed it up there, because I feel like, bro, when you're in Birmingham, let's go for a mixed grill. Let's, you know, I already feel like, you know, just for this conversation. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just for this conversation, we've had a really good time and a laugh. But anyway, I want to get to the crux of things, because when you were at the peak of your success, why did you leave?
Do you know what, bro? That's a really good question, and that's a sad question for me as well, because
just give us unfiltered, give it.
Okay, so the real thing is, I used to look at the negativity too much, man. That's one of my problems, is because you probably noticed this, I'm a very intense bunda. Like, for me, it's all or nothing. I can't do the middle ground, man. You know, like I said, look how long it took me to release my songs. Look how much I perfected the battle rap. Look how, you know, I wrote those lyrics and came on it. So for me, when it came to around 2007, I looked at my music and I thought, you know what? I can't do this forever. I need to get a proper job. I need to build a career. I need to make some money. I was getting a lot of family pressure and this and that. And it was just getting to the point where, you know what? You're going to be approaching your 30s soon. You just need to, you know what, bro? You just need to basically put a nail on it. And what really put the nail in the coffin was actually the negativity that I used to read online. And like, because back then, websites used to be sparse. There wasn't much out there. There used to be these forums, right?
Doctor.com.
And mostly the forums started up around 2000, just a couple of years after I'd started to make the music. They started to get big. And then on these forums, I used to read comments. But the problem was, and I know this is really bad to say, but it was apne. It was apne, like in Punjabi apne, like Sikh Punjabi apne.
Yeah.
They used to go on these message boards and say, oh, we don't want MCs ruining Bhangra tracks and this and that, right? So I don't know if you remember that period.
Yeah.
But you know, the funny thing was, bro, and I know this might sound a bit strange, but most of the love I was getting, I was ignoring. And most of that came from a different crowd. It came from the Gujarati crowd, from the Pakistani crowd. Those guys used to love my music. They used to absolutely adore my music. But you know what? I honed in on the negativity I was getting from my own people. Because there was nothing more I wanted to be accepted than my own people. Do you know what I mean? It's like, this is me, you know, this is my identity. So these are, you know, these guys are like me. I need to make sure that they like my music as well. You know, I'm happy with all the other crowds that I've got in the other communities, and, you know, big up, respect. And I've always shown them a lot of love. They've shown me a lot of love. But, you know, my own community, I need to get them on side, man. What's going on? So I just got to a point where I gave up, man, because it was just so much negativity surrounding MCs. But you know what, bro? I was so wrong. Shall I tell you why? Because that's when the growth of rap actually started. Like, I deleted everything, man. I came off all my socials. You know, MSN got kind of like, because MSN was where most of my fans were, MSN Messenger. I don't know if you remember that app back in the day, MSN Messenger. I used to literally sign into that, and it was got bing, 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 bing. So many people literally messaging me on that. And then Facebook was one that new started up. I had maxed out like 2 or 3 Facebook pages. You know, when you used to get to like 5K friends and you have to make a new account. So I had like 3 or 4 Facebook. Bro, I deleted it all, got off online. It was a bad year to do it though, because that was the year when Instagram came about, all these social media apps came about. So I missed about 6 or 7 years between 2007, 2013, that period there, where other artists came in and they made the most of these apps. You know, like new artists coming in, they got on there, they got fan bases quickly. So by the time I've left and I've done no social media, I've deleted all my accounts, lost all my fans, or lost contact with all my fans, stopped making music, I've tried to come back in 2013 and thought, this isn't going to happen, man. It's not the same. I wasn't getting the same response. I wasn't getting the same response from the media. People were looking at me like, yeah, cool, man. You did that back then, but what are you doing now? And then
Mm.
obviously then you have to then prove yourself again. And then other people like might look at you these days, obviously from that period, started looking at you like, how many followers have you got, man? All right, yeah, you did that 15 years ago, but how many followers have you got? How many likes are you getting on your post?
Mm.
How good is your new music video? So these things then just kind of like they kind of put me off more. So then I came 2013 to 2014, 15-ish for about a year and a half to 2 years. And I just kind of left again, because when I came back to it, it was like Punjabi rap had blown up in India.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, bro, that's like my forte, man. Like I realized that Honey Singh apparently had been in the UK from 2002 up to like 2007, where most of my success came basically. And he was a failed music producer apparently. I'm not saying this in a hateful way because this is what I've heard, right? So he was studying in the UK universities. He couldn't make it here in the industry. Then he went out there, and rather than doing music production, he laid a rap. I remember the first track that I heard of his. It was that Chandigarh de nazare ne pattiya das मैं की प्यार विच खट्टिया. Then he goes, Selli meri kendi menu chanjana di lode. When I heard that rap,
Yeah.
I was like, yo, like India's coming in with some bars, man. That then kind of like got me watching the Indian industry as well. Like how it evolved. All the rappers came in,
Yep.
and
Yep.
all of a sudden, bro, we got to like 2014, and I'm like a speck in this big crowd of newly evolved rappers. You've got people like Shah, Honey Singh, I don't even know, Raftar, like so many other rappers just came and they were just killing it, man. And I just felt like that boat sailed, Then Canadians took over. Another thing as well, bro, and this is bad to say, but UK Bhangra, we used
Mm.
to lead the way before.
It
It
did.
was
Yep.
our people over here, not just as in like our community, let's say the Sikh community, like I was talking about before. All of the communities here is actually the media. So when you talk about like all the media, big channels and stuff, they kind of started to pump the Canadians and the Indians more. And then that was kind of disheartening because it's like, I'm not going to mention names of media stations now, but when you've got British in your name, yeah, or Brit in your name, and you're pumping things that aren't British, for me, that's a bit of a cop out. And also, your UK industry then gets smaller because you've got all these talented artists here that have been killing it for so long, and you've got new upcoming artists, and you're not pushing them. So what happens is you don't give them a platform. And when these guys haven't got a platform, who's going to listen to their music? So these are the things that kind of just made me think, you know what? It's not happening, man. It's that boat has sailed. And I feel like a lot of Asian artists feel that way as well. I don't know what you've obviously been doing podcasts. I don't know what you feel and what you've heard. But I feel like that's what actually happened. Like where all these negative influences, like I try to prove myself to my own people, the media stopped pushing us. The social media was working differently. It was more about likes, follows, views, all that stuff kind of
Yeah.
amalgamated into one big like ball of fire for me to just be like, right, I'm done with this.
I mean,
So it's a long-winded answer, but hopefully you got some sort of insight from me on that,
I'm an
man.
artist myself, bro. Hanangar, we have that struggle with platforms, releasing platforms and releasing things and that. But and so I agree with you, and a lot of artists have mentioned. Apache's mentioned it as well, on the when Apache was on the show, and Devinder who just did it now, and there's loads of artists who've mentioned that the lack of support for UK artists in the
Yeah.
UK industry themselves. So yeah, you got a point, but I think my opinion probably on it is that we're in a generation we don't need them now. We've got
Oh,
social
now, yeah,
media.
now. No, so when I was specifically addressing that to where you said, you left the music industry,
Why did you
that
leave it?
gap
Yeah,
that I had between 2007
yeah,
and 2013, that was like a transitional phase where everything went from that media
yeah,
over to social media,
yeah.
if that makes sense, right? It kind of flipped. So
Absolutely, yeah,
yeah, no, coming into 2025, I totally agree with you, bro. And that's why I've got a good response on TikTok. And I was
yeah.
quite surprised that, that even TikTok can even deliver that type of a response for me. So yeah, no, I agree with you on that. But if we go back, I think that's what kind of finished off the UK Bhangra scene, and that's why you've got if you look at all the top 10 music artists that you've got in your playlist right now, yeah, if you look at all the top 10 music artists that are killing it Bhangra wise, bruv, I don't think they're British Punjabi artists. So I'm just going to call that out. It's going to be the Karan Aujalas. It's going to be Sidhu Moosewala. They're going to be top singers from like Canada or India, in my opinion. That's what I'm listening to, and I think most people are as well. Their numbers don't lie, the Diljits, the Karan Aujalas. There's not anyone really from here.
Yep, I haven't got. I'm just looking at because I do a Punjabi top 50 playlist on Spotify, and I don't think I've got any UK artists. No, I might have some.
There you go, then, bro. Say no more. Say no more, bro.
I might have some. I might have like our boys like Devinder
But you get what I mean? Like you have to really look for it. But why is that? That's not because you don't like UK Bhangra artists. It's because UK Bhangra artists haven't been given that push, and the big platforms are pushing their music, and all the UK ones are having to really struggle to get their music heard and get out there. So unless you've got links, unless you've got money, unless you've got something that basically puts you in a privileged position, you ain't getting played, bro. I look at some of the.
So after you, sir.
No, you go. I was pretty much done there.
I was just going to say that I think it's a combination of two things now. So one, you're not going to get pushed, but I think because we invented the scene, the UK did, no matter what anyone says.
This is what I'm saying to you.
We invented the scene, even the rapping you're saying, we invented it. Even before that, you go back to UK Bhangra. When Punjabi music was fused with Western sounds, we invented it.
Yeah.
We invented that right from when you go back to the bands in the 80s.
Yes.
And we invented that. But I think what's happened.
We also
now,
gave it away. We also gave it away.
Yeah.
This is the thing. This is what really annoys me. We gave it away. Yeah. And it wasn't just I'll take partial responsibility on my shoulders as well. I mean, I'm saying it's the media and this and that, but we really gave it away, because then we enabled those platforms to do that thing, and then we really tried to get sucked into like, okay, well then now I got to make my songs like, Diljit or this person or that person, and I've got to try and get a collab with a Canadian artist or an Indian artist, and all of a sudden, you've got everyone chasing the bag, bro. We're holding the bag. And then now they've got it. They've got the big things, and now we're just running around like legless chickens. Just India to artist सुनिया कितना बढ़िया गाता है, और जो नमा करण औजला दा गाना सुनो, सिद्धू मूसेवाले दा गाना सुनो. And look, no hate, bro. They're in my playlist as well. It's not like I'm saying that I'm immune to this, but I can't even, if I want to, I can't even access who is top in the UK. I can't even access who's doing the new stuff. I mean, I got stuff like, for example, I sent to me the other day, Raf Sapira, he's done that garage sort of tune. Yeah. That's I thought, you know what? Okay, that's good. Yeah. But then even then, it's like, it's very, very, like, it's like the scarcity in having access to that type of material. You have to really go out and look for it. Do you know what I mean? So for me, we gave it away. But I'll just go on, carry on. That's pretty much what I was saying. I said not only
no. It's
and invent it, like you said, I think we gave it away as well, in all honesty.
No, I don't want this podcast to be about myself. It's about mainly yourself, brother. So, but
go on.
Back to the Bhangra industry, but back to music. I feel we were relying too much on our legacy. Do you understand? Because the Canadians didn't copy us. They invented their own vibe. The young people came out and invented it. So we've got to tap into ourselves again and think, what can we offer that's fresh and new? I'm not on about old UK Bhangra, garage.
No, I agree.
You like let's say you and me sat down today and think, you know what? Oh God, let's this is a vibe. Chick. Like, I'm working with my nephew who's 18, and we're producing like 12 tracks, bro. But he's 18. He's got fresh ideas, which I could never think of, bro.
Yeah, but bro, you say that, yeah. This is also I'm just gonna fire back on you just very quickly, because I know sometimes I go too much, yeah. What you're saying, I kind of agree with, but I also disagree with. I'll tell you why.
Go for it.
Because where you say we weren't doing anything, it wasn't that we weren't doing anything. It was we were fronted by that same group of artists that the media wanted to push because they were their mates. So people like me, who had an abundance of talent, just stopped getting pushed. I was quite controversial. I probably shot myself my own foot from an exposure perspective. But it used to make me annoyed that there's other artists out there like me that actually are very, very, very talented. I can name rappers to you. I can name singers to you that were so good and they could have done what these guys are doing out there, but they were never going to get the platform. They were either not good looking enough. They were either just not noticeable, or people, they couldn't get the right producers. They couldn't get the quality element. You didn't have people coming behind them. They just couldn't get played on TV. There was reasons why that other people just wouldn't let them come forward. It could have been jealousy, hatred, the same circle of guys. Even now, if you look at the British industry, right, and you see the people performing, if you go out and see performances, it's going to be the same kind of guys on rotation, man, from the 90s or thousands. I'm not going to say names because I don't want to marry this interview with controversy, but at the end of the day, it's the same lot of guys. It's the same old recycled music that keeps coming. There's nothing wrong with it. Some of the music was good, but that's because those people have been given those opportunities by mates, and those mates are the ones that control that media. But it's that attitude, that mentality.
I get your point,
let's
bro.
get our mates. Let's us all eat on a table, and then let's go and big up some guy from India or Pakistan or Canada. But let's not look at all the UK artists we've got here.
Yeah.
So he was one of them, bro, and there was quite a few more that I could name, but I'll just lay it down to you because he was quite a prominent name out there when he was obviously doing his thing. So yeah, man.
No, I get your point. I don't know what and I totally agree with you, bro, in that. But I'm thinking more of the future. How we want the UK to get back to that. That was my context. In the future, we've got to reinvent ourselves. That I'm not about like right now in the present time. So say you're unaware. Like I was telling you about my nephew. So my nephew, he's 18 now. He's got ideas that you and I would never ever think of because he's in. It's fresh minds, fresh thing, and music, it runs in cycles, isn't it? Like basically, you get to a peak and then you have to reinvent yourself and carry. You have to like Jazzy B's not doing the same music as he was 20 years ago, is he?
No.
Do you know what I mean? He's reinvented himself. So I think we have to do that.
Bro, the young ones are going to bring the ideas, man, and they're going to bring them. And to be honest with you, I try and, because I'm quite creative myself, I try and tap in to the new trends and everything that happens. So if I was to make songs now, I'm not just going to make songs that obviously I want to make, but I'm going to, before I probably would have been a lot more stubborn in my music making because at that time we were the young kids, right? We were the young kids. Kids. We were the young kids, right? We were the ones setting the trends, saying the new words that everyone's saying. So now it would be a little bit more open to like sort of the way I'm going to collab with people, the people I want on the songs. In fact, if anything, I'm actually trying to look for artists to work with that are going to be able to bring that fresh flavor. But as I said, finding these people is not easy. First of all, finding someone that just does that type of music is hard. Then finding them to vibe with your sound. And then on top of that, they have to be good as well. You can't, you have to filter out. There's going to be a lot of artists, not being rude to anyone, but there's going to be artists that don't have what it takes to be at that level. So when you're starting to go in this big pool of artists, which are all trying to say, look, listen to me, listen to me, listen to me, and no one's listening to them, where do you look? Especially as an established artist myself, where do I look? Where do I find all these people that are actually going to make bangers now, and then we can kind of bring the music scene back? I mean, I'm ready, man. You guys got. If I can see people that can line up with me, bring the same level of quality. I've got all my expertise here, bro. I've been doing music for over 25 years, man. Have you ever rapped before?
No, I'm not a rapper. No.
I could probably get you in a studio within 3 hours. I could probably get you rapping on a tune, dropping an 8-bar. If you ever want to test this, we can do this as well. But I'm not sure if you're interested in it. But I can get you rapping on a tune to a very, very good quality within about 3 hours, and you'll come off on that sound thinking, did I just do that? Because I've done that with rappers. When I recorded Lightnin with them, I'm not going to say who the rappers were. There were 2 rappers on there. We was in the Brixton's Dairy, and they'd never rapped before, but they wanted to be a rapper, right? So I said, all right, cool. I'll write your bars for you. I'll show you how to record it. Within 3 hours, bro, I had 2 verses on there from people that had never even touched a pen or paper in their lives. That's it. So that's the level that I operate at. So if I can do that to someone that's a nobody, you know, that not a nobody, I'm not being rude, but you know, someone that's never done
So
anything
who,
before.
yeah, who's not known?
Imagine what levels we could achieve if I could collaborate with these types of artists. And I think going back to what you said before about like, you know, what we've got, like the gene pool that we had, it was weak. I agree with you because obviously I said, you know, people were playing their mates and their mates had a weak gene pool and that gene pool was just getting pushed. And those guys are the same guys on rotation and recycled, right? When you've got other talented people that weren't giving them spots. So now if you can now establish a new gene pool, what level of music can you achieve? I tell you straight, bro, you can achieve very high levels.
Yep.
But it's going to be difficult because you're going to have to get past all that politics. You're going to have to get people to open their minds up and say, I want to collab. See, when I first come into the industry, bro, I was a young, fresh 18-year-old. I used to get a call after the RDB days. I didn't care, man. I was like, I'm on it. We've got a project. I'm on it. We've got a project. All right, I'm on it. We've got a project. I'm on it. I just used to go down, record verses, kill the bars, shoot the videos, and out it comes. It ain't like that no more, man. People are just, everyone's got their sunglasses on. Someone's got fake followers, 50,000. You can't work out who's a big star, who's not a big star, who's actually making good music. You know, you've got people out there with 1 million followers, bro. They've got absolutely zero talent, man. All they do is a little TikTok dance. And then you've got seriously good artists that might only have 500 followers and no one wants to pay attention to them. So, you know, that gene pool, if you could bring it together, something can be done, man. But it's going to be difficult. It's not.
Do you know what it is? Oh God, I've been studying this game for a long time now, and I've come to the conclusion that the main thing right now, what's missing from our artists here, consistency. What we do, right? We like the most talented artists, right? They do one massive track, they put all the eggs in that basket. It doesn't do well, then they're 2-3 months later. What you have to do, you have to keep churning out consistency and not stop. Yeah. As soon as you stop, the momentum stops.
I totally agree with you on that. Like, not even a little bit. I fully agree with you on that. In fact, my mindset used to be, after I did all my big hits, when I started working on the Players Lab album, bro, I've got something like 40 songs that didn't make the album.
Yeah.
That was because we were just being so specific that this song needs to be perfect. Yeah. And that was the mentality that it was. You can't release this because the level that we was at recording back then, it was different. You know, when you get a tune, that tune bangs. These days, it's going to work better with the consistency level that you're talking about, where you keep releasing stuff, you keep putting stuff out there. But the problem is, bro, look, you can keep banging the consistency out. But let me give you an example. You got some 18-year-old kid now. Let's take me back to when I was 18, yeah? Now, back then, we used to just focus on the music. I just go in the studio, record a song, gets released, bam. You get the results, you do gigs, whatever, blah, 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 all the way. What does an 18-year-old kid do now? He has to go and spend expensive studio time. He has to get his own videos made. He has to do his own marketing. He has to get followers. He has to do this. He has to do 99 tasks even before anyone listens to his music. Mm-hmm. So that's where the problem presents itself. So unless you can get that gene pool mixed, unless you can get this bunch of talented artists in the same area, in the same mindset, like let's collab, let's get these guys together, network these guys together. Unless you can do that, you're going to still be doing the same thing, man. You're going to get low-level quality music, and it's only going to be the guys at the top. It's almost like that rich-poor divide. You're only going to get the guys at the top that eat, and the bottom feeders are just going to be there picking up the scraps. So I think if some of those top feeders, I'm not talking about the fake artists and the guys that we were talking about before. Yeah, I'm talking about the guys that are smashing it. So yeah, you got, for example, let's use Raf Sapira as an example. If Raf Sapira really wanted to, he could go out there, he could go and connect up some really, really good artists and drop a whole load of bangers, and everyone's going to support his movement. That would then kick the seat. I'm coming back to music now. If it happens, Rabraka, touch wood, if it happens to me that I get myself back in that privileged position, I'm here to help people. Because right now, I've got that age, I've got that wisdom, and I've got that talent. So, I've got some stuff that I'm going to be putting out soon. If something pops off, I'm always there because I believe in growth. And it's not just about me. It's not about me wearing my sunglasses looking cool on TV. If the industry grows, we all eat. That's how it works. And that's how a family system works as well. Yeah. If you've got two brothers that live in a house, they've got two incomes, their wives are bringing incomes in, you can get a Lamborghini much easier than if it was just you by yourself in a single household. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
Absolutely,
that
100%
group
agree.
element, I think we don't have that here. And they've got that in Canada. I just saw a video the other day of AP Dylan and Garan Orja about to do a collab. Boom. Who doesn't want to hear that collab?
Yeah.
Why is that collab happening? Why is that sort of stuff not happening here? You got to ask yourself that question. Why are upname singers? So even like the only people that are doing collab, for example, people like Jazzy B, but then he's going out to India to do most of his collabs. You're not getting involved with all these. Okay, look, AP Dylan came over from India and collabed with Stormzy. Yeah, there's not Punjabi. Unless, correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't listened to that much of Stormzy's music recently. But there isn't any. Why is Stormzy not collabed with any Punjabi singer? Being a UK British artist, why hasn't he collabed, to my knowledge, with a Punjabi singer from here? Why is AP Dylan flown from overseas, got this guy on a tune? Yeah, or obviously you're going to say it's hype, but there are people out there with a name in the UK as well. It's because we're over here, the mentality is not to collab. They don't want to do tunes with other people. They just want to be the main man on the song. It's the whole, look at me, I'm the main man. I can't have someone else taking my shadow. Whereas that conflicts with what I do, because I'm about battle rap, clashing, getting collaborations. If someone gets on a track, I'm going to be the best guy on that track. I'm not scared of anyone because of my talent, my confidence, my ability to collaborate with these people is what I have confidence in. Yeah. So for me, a collaboration is something that has to happen. And it's the only way you can improve. I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong. You might actually be able to correct me here. Is there people doing collabs? I mean, I've tried to reach out to some artists and I just hear excuses all the time. That's all I hear.
Right, you're right in a way, which is why I'm working on some projects in the background to bring, because everyone I've met has said the same thing, about working together and getting the UK Bhangra industry back to its peak, so you're onto something there. So, but time will tell, and if things work out, I'll contact you and we'll do stuff. But
bro, I will say this on your podcast as well. Obviously, I don't know what reach we're going to get on this. Obviously, hopefully, everyone listens and we get a good audience. But if there's anyone out there, I'm the type of guy. If you message me, I'll reply to your message. I'm not going to be that guy that kind of. I've done this even at the peak of my RDB days. If there was a website, I used to have my own contact details on there, and I used to talk to people, man. I was happy to talk to new singers. Before Imran Khan came out, he used to chat to me on MSN Messenger. Yeah, he was going to do a track with me. So guys like that, when they hadn't even blown up, they were listening to my music. Yeah. So for me, I was contactable to those people. I don't believe, I'm pretty sure most of the singers these days are not contactable like that. They just hide behind this PR, marketing, talk to my manager. Yeah, all right, cool. You can have a manager to talk to, but there's no proactivity there. That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying here on your show, if there's people out there that want to work, man, obviously I'm going to have to assess the quality of the work. I'm not just going to jump into a project. But if you guys have got stuff out there, man, come at me, man. I'm always open for new ideas, new projects. Obviously, you've just said that you might want to do something in the future, which is cool. We're open to that as well. But just to your viewers as well, man, if there's people out there that are feeling and resonating with what I'm saying, come on, man, let's get something going. Let's get this engine started again, huh?
So, bro, we're gonna. It's been an hour and a half, believe it or not. One of the longest episodes I've done. So, and I can talk to you for probably another.
It had to be me, didn't it? It had to be me. It had to be me, didn't it?
I think the only other one
I talk a lot, man. I talk a lot.
No, it's good. The only other one I did was like this long was Sadi Jodi, which is about an hour 40 minutes as well, which is almost 2 hours maybe.
Okay.
So we're gonna stop. We're gonna stop now. And what I want you to just tell me about your future. What projects are coming? Where can we catch you on social media?
So I've got a strategy right now. My strategy involves I've got songs that I haven't even uploaded to Apple Music yet, bro. You've got big bangers like Awkwardly. You've got songs I've got out there on the Players Lab album. First things first, my main aim is just to get those onto like all the platforms like Apple Music, Spotify, just speak to the distributors. That's my first phase, yeah? My second phase is then I'm gonna remake some songs, like for example, Some Next Auntie.
Yeah.
Some of my old tunes. I might do like a part 2 to Some Next Auntie because that was quite a popular track. So that's going to be phase 2, and then phase 3 is then getting to work, man. That's when all of my things should come together. I've got the content ready. We've got all the videos. I'm just in the process of getting some old videos, back off some. I literally received the video for Punjabi last night because I can't just rip it off YouTube and then put it on TikTok. I spoke to Serge from RDB. He sent it over to me, and then that's why I actually just posted that a few hours ago, to be fair. So stuff like that. Just get all the content together, get it out. But the ultimate plan, really, bro, is I want to get collabing with people. I want to do what I was good at: getting on tunes, putting a hot verse on that tune, and then let's see where that tune goes, man. I've already started writing like garage songs as well, like Bhangra garage songs, like singing. I'm singing on them. I can give those songs to other singers. I can sing on them myself. There is no design. I'm ready to work, bro. So it's just whatever's gonna pop my way, whatever, and it's gonna be the highest quality because what I don't want to get confused with is the volume will be there. I will be knocking out the volume, but the quality isn't gonna drop. It's gonna be top quality. I'm already to be honest with you. I'm talking to some big names. I just told you I got off the phone to Rhythm Rider earlier. I don't think he's going to do music again, but I'm reconnecting with old faces and old names. So there's some collabs happening, man. I've been speaking to some big names, and from back in the day. I'm not going to say who because I don't know whether these are just basic ideas at the moment or they're going to turn into anything. Yeah. But there's a few promises being made, man, and I always keep mine. Obviously, if these guys can keep them as well, there should be some hot music coming our way, man. That's all I'm going to say. Amazing. So I think in the next 3 or 4 months, I've got a couple of tracks who are even ready to go. Like they've got a music video, like I've shot like in 2018. Full product there, ready to go. It fits in with today's sound as well. So stuff like that. It's basically going to come slowly in the next 3 or 4 months. But I think 2026 is going to be a big year where I'm going to aim to do like 1 music video per month, 1 feature per month, just get more and more content out there. Yeah, man. And let's do. The idea is just to get the music. I don't know what response I'm going to get because I don't have the same clout coming into the industry that I do. I don't even understand the industry. I don't even know where I've got to go to promote it. So all that stuff's going to be a learning curve from scratch one again. But I'm going to try, man. I'm going to give it a go, and I'm excited to do it as well. That's the main thing.
Absolutely, and so you should be. So I always end the podcast with a question, which is, what, in your words, is musical excellence?
Musical excellence, for me, if you go back to what I said to you about that, where I peaked at my career when I kind of did that battle rap, is when you can turn around and look at yourself, not from your fans, not from the audience, not from the marketing, not from anything else, just from you as a person. And you think, you know what? I have evolved and I'm happy with what I've just seen there. And you can really look at that and be proud of what you've just achieved. That, I believe, is musical excellence from your own perspective.
Amazing. And that, my friends, is Lightnin MC. And the only reason I'm cutting it off because it's an hour and a half. And so I don't know who it is.
Lightnin MC, Lightnin MC and Raj Kaul signing out.
Absolutely, bro. And where can we catch you on social? Just let everyone know where we can.
I don't know if you drop links or whatever, but
I will put links in the description.
Yeah. Hopefully, you have something there to give them. But it's going to be most of my socials are at Sosumal, so SOSUMAL. Or you can type in Lightnin MC, mostly just Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You'll find me, man. Just type in Lightnin MC or Sosumal on wherever you want to do it, Apple Music, Spotify. Something's going to come up.
Absolutely. So bless you. You stay online, and I'll just sign out. So guys, that was Lightnin MC, and what a privilege speaking to him. Honestly, I'm inspired. I'm ready to go again because this podcast, as I always say, bro, it's this podcast is about me being inspired by the musicians and learning for the musicians, and I love learning, and I've learned so much about your journey and about MCing, which I wasn't aware of. So guys, make sure you leave a like, leave a review, and leave a follow to myself and Lightnin MC as well. So God bless you all, and until we meet again.